Welcome to Prog Will Find a Way podcast. I'm Jonathan Block,
And I'm Jay Valade.
and this episode we're going to dedicate fully to the 50th anniversary of.
Tubular Bells.
All right, I was going to hum it, but I knew that would get us in trouble. So, yes, Tubular Bells is 50 years old.
Yeah,
The record that built Richard Branson's dynasty.
it's unbelievable. Yeah, 50 years old, and Mike Oldfield was 17 or 18 or something like that when he was shopping.
Very young.
His demos. um, it's quite a interesting record from back then.
Yes.
The fact that they went through all that they had to do for him to, work to get this thing out, and then for it to become such a phenomenal hit for him and for Virgin Records and get them on the map and the whole thing. It's pretty cool.
Definitely a right place, right time.
But over 50 years, we've seen quite a number of Tubular Bells versions come out. And with the 50th anniversary, we have yet another.
And you own many of them.
I own a lot of them.
So
over the course of time, I have amassed some Tubular Bells product.
So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of look at each release. If we start with the earliest, and we'll go up and we'll kind of just do some recollections. I mean, 73, what a time anyways.
So the first one was Tubular Bells proper, right? Which has the bell on it, right? This is not the original album. I think I have one down in the basement, but this is part of the box set that came out.
The 50th anniversary?
No, not the 50th. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I've stopped. Somebody stopped me from buying another Tubular Bells.
Now, was the original release a gatefold?
I don't believe it was.
Yeah, I
think it was just a regular one, and it, on the Virgin record label, it had the Roger Dean.
Because it was their first release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So it was cool, and it was, one piece of music split over two sides.
Right.
And Mike Oldfield plays everything except I think some bagpipes or something,
and the
some flutes.
Well, and the
talking.
The what is it?
Viv
Stanto, caveman.
Yeah. I don't know who does the caveman voice. I think he probably does the caveman.
No, yeah, no, he lists off the
Yeah, he's the one who the master.
Right. Yes, master of ceremonies. Xylophone.
No, Tubular Bells, I mean, it became a phenomenon for him in England, and was, number one, all that kind of stuff. And then because they used it as the theme from The Exorcist, it became a hit in America too.
A little bit of trivia. The first band they went to for the theme for Exorcist was Tangerine Dream, who turned it down.
Wow.
Not one of their better decisions. Especially since they would have composed brand new music. Mike didn't have to do anything.
Right.
It's just an edit.
Yeah.
It
just took.
However, it really fits.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you hear that, and if you don't know the album and have bought 15 versions of it, you think of the creepy Exorcist.
Right. I mean, it's not to the same cultural level as like the theme from Jaws, but it's
back in the 70s.
Oh,
it
totally.
was.
Yes.
All right. So then after Tubular Bells came out, I believe they put out the orchestral Tubular Bells.
Was that the next version? Oh, yes, of course.
Right.
From a discography perspective, it was not. Was Here's Ridge next, or did?
Oh no, but
okay,
the Tubular Bells.
Yeah, which is my apologies. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came out in, it was recorded in 74, but came out in 75.
So where did you buy that? What's French?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, you bought it in France?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
they didn't.
I do these things. I just travel across the world to buy old records.
Just for this podcast.
I just got back.
Yeah. Took a red eye.
So anyway.
Okay.
What
do you think?
I didn't. I have not listened to this in 30 years, but it's.
Now, is this the with other people on it and not Mike, or this is truly just orchestra?
Performed by the
the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yeah, with Mike Oldfield on guitar.
Oh, okay.
So this was obviously from like the late 70s, because it's got just the more
modern Virgin label.
Yeah.
I'm confusing it with Tubular Bells Live, which I believe was never a release, right?
Oh, the one
It
that
was
they
a
did like in the
concert.
round.
Yeah, with like Steve Hillage and
I
all
think
these
that was just
people.
a
That was just a live show.
live show
Okay.
that they did,
All right.
probably with a studio.
Right.
audience.
However, similar to the present, where there was a 50th anniversary performance without Mike Oldfield yet again.
He
was not there. I saw
But
it.
he was at that one.
When I say I saw it, I was not there. I saw
that it was occurring.
I saw it. Speaking of videos from our last podcast, I saw it on a video on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't
it's
see
on
that.
there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will be honest and say I watched about 5 minutes, and once I realized he wasn't there,
you stopped.
I stopped. Well, that's fine as a repertoire, but I would have liked to have seen him.
So potentially, I don't know when this came out. This was in the middle, either right after orchestral or right before.
Either way, it came out before the deluge of Tubular Bells.
This was just a box set of Mike Oldfield stuff after Hergest Ridge and Amadon, and it was vinyl, and it had a compilation fourth side, or fourth album, whatever.
Yeah, essentially the quad mixes.
Yeah, and it was the quad mixes. Yep. So this was our third version of Tubular Bells.
And let's open that up. This is the cassette
version. This is the cassette version, which I bought used
pretty rare
years ago. So has a little book.
They fold the book.
They fold the book. But,
there he is.
There he is. And then,
pretty impressive book for a set of cassettes.
Right. And then the two cassettes.
Wow.
Are, very there's not a lot to them.
Yeah, your standard white.
Yeah.
But they have doubly.
It's in doubly.
It's in doubly.
So.
Wow. And the fourth side was?
The fourth side was collaborations.
Oh, right. Collaborations.
So it was
Bedford and...
Yeah, David Bedford.
Of course.
Stars End with the Royal Philharmonic. And Leslie Penning.
Okay.
Argiers. Portsmouth. And Indulge Jubilo.
But all that stuff's has shown up on the release.
Eventually, most of it shows up.
I mean, this was I have this set on CD. It did come out on CD. Believe it or not. Yes, it did. But a lot of those extra songs I know ended up on what was that from the 80s, like the first Complete. I thought that was such a great set.
I love that.
Love that set. The live stuff. And then it was on the
I forgot that.
The box
There's
set.
Probably Tubular Bells again.
But also on the box set, which we'll get to.
Yeah. So then Mike was doing all of his shorter stuff
rock type albums.
And then when he got out of Virgin, I don't even know if that happened before or after. Yeah, when he left Virgin Records, he did Tubular Bells 2.
What about Airborne?
Well, Airborne, I think, was a combination
of a compilation
of platinum, and I think some songs from the live album.
Exposed.
It's another Tubular Bells live. This is Tubular Bells live again.
Interesting. It's 2 albums, but not a gatefold.
Correct.
$1.50.
Yeah, well,
Where do you know where you bought that? I can't tell from the label. There's some labels we could tell, but I can't tell from that label. That's not a Cutler's label. I can tell you.
Probably a record show somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. But $1.50. I wonder what they go for now.
I don't know. And it's a promo with the promo sticker
right on the front.
I mean, it's got to be worth
$3. All right.
So then Tubular Bells 2 comes out with Trevor Horn producing, which again this one sounds beautiful.
Did very well for him, right?
I think so.
Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he shot right back up the charts with this, but enjoyed this one very much.
That was not on Virgin, right?
This was on Warner's. Okay. Yeah. So he finally freed himself from his Virgin contract, and so then he said, "Now I'm doing Tubular Bells too."
Okay. What solo, Amarok or
Amarok was his last one, I think.
And then that, yep.
And then came Tubular Bells 3 and singles and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
With Tubular Bells too.
Well, let's see the single. People may not have seen this.
This
Show
is
the audience.
the single restructuring, and it has an orb remix and all that kind of stuff.
See this.
But I did have something
Made
else
in England.
there. I'm not sure what else I had in here. That was my
2 CDs?
No, it wasn't a 2 CD thing, but it was a promo CD that I got. So I just
so you combined them. Yeah. What, the promo the same thing or different?
The promo is the Bell Sentinel Restructure, 3 different mixes of that, 5 different mixes of that. So
interesting. It didn't have its own cover.
It probably was the one I had. Probably was
cardboard sleeve.
Yeah,
got it.
So, again, you get your Tubular Bells, and then you have your 6 different remixes of it on the back. So again, that theme, we're going to discuss this at the end, but by the time we're done, we're like,
it became a template that was used over and over again.
Which one is this?
Well, it doesn't help that the covers all kind of look the same too.
Right? Well, Tubular Bells 3 comes out, and that one was, I think, the most different. And again, I just put this in a slim because I ran out of space to hold things. But this one I felt was the most different. Tubular Bells 2 followed the idea.
Right. Yes.
Different sounds, and it had what's his name? Snape from Harry Potter. Did the
Rickman,
Alan
Rickman?
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who has never seen a Harry Potter movie, so
shame on you.
Well,
so he does.
Perhaps I should not be admitting that.
He does the introduction of the.
He's the master of ceremonies.
The master of ceremonies, and I enjoy that one better, but just because I know his voice much more than I know his.
Well, what's that foldy thing there?
This is was the back cover.
Oh, okay.
When I took it off, but
you actually folded it.
I did. Oh. Well, where else was it going to go?
Ouch.
Hey.
For those of you who are not watching the video, it's a good thing you're not seeing this.
Well, I'm not that much of a pure.
Now,
I'm not going to.
I know. What year are we here? Do we even know?
That's what I was looking for.
Might be on the bottom of that somewhere now.
If I could read this.
Were we into the let me see.
Like 98 probably. Somewhere around there. It's right the first.
Yep. 98. You're exactly right.
So this one was the most different to me. It's got the Far Above the Clouds bit in it instead to announce the Tubular Bells. So what they do is they've got this little girl or young boy, I can't tell.
Young person.
He starts talking in the middle of it, and far above the clouds, and nothing was heard from him again, except for the sound of Tubular Bells.
You didn't sound that bad there. It sounds like you could do an intro. If not that, you could do one of those introductions to the Moody Blues songs, the poem.
The Graham Edge.
Graham Edge, yes.
So then he put out the Millennium Bell a year later. This one I did not re-listen to. I couldn't find it on Spotify, but it might be there buried somewhere.
Jay has Spotify, I have Apple Music. I did not find it on there either. That they mostly overlap.
Yeah. So I did not.
And by the way,
listen to it.
The cover is totally of its time. It's like a Tears for Fears album cover.
And then that's 2000. That's basically 2000. And then he re-recorded Tubular Bells in 2003
as a 20th anniversary kind of thing. No, 30.
I guess
30.
But it was
well, it would have been the 30th
but it's a
anniversary.
full re-recording.
Correct. Yes,
right? As faithful as possible.
Right. Yep.
So we had that, which came out on CD.
So these are
with a little DVD on it.
DVD.
And then we had a
DVD audio, which will only play on a DVD audio player or a DVD player.
DVD player.
Right. Well, you can only hear the uncompressed DVD quality audio on a DVD audio player, but it does have regular 5.1 and DTS on it.
Correct.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about this one the 2003 version. As far as I can tell, I could be wrong, so please leave us a comment if I am. This is the only version, and it's not even on the back.
It says it.
Oh, there it
is. They don't really describe it very well.
They don't, but it's in there. It's the full version of the demo. So it's his full kind of final demo before they went in and actually did the recording. There's bits and pieces of that on some of those other releases, but as far as I know, that's the only release that has the full part 1 and part 2, the whole thing. And there's other stuff on there as well.
Yeah, it's got videos from Tubular Bells 2 and Tubular Bells 3.
Yeah,
being performed live.
I had that too. It's a great
very cool
version.
But again, if you held me to the fire, I don't know that I would be able to tell between Tubular Bells original and Tubular Bells 2000.
So if we
that much of a difference.
So if we did like a name that tune and played like even a minute of something, you might be like,
because there's so many versions. I couldn't tell you which one is which.
I know.
So then
it's not over yet.
Then they did the big box set of Tubular Bells, which came with the vinyl, and it has a whole bunch of posters and this, that, and it has 3 CDs and a DVD and a poster.
Is that a credit card? What is that?
No, it's little guitar picks.
Oh, okay, guitar picks. Wow.
And pictures from the Manor studio where they did it, and it's there's tons of stuff here, but again, it's like there's too much.
How many tubular bells are too many tubular bells?
Right. The book is great. If you like Mike Oldfield, it's great. There's the whole history of tubular bells in here, and pictures and essays.
Every bit of information you could want. Wow. Even yeah.
Copies
look at
of
that.
master tapes.
Yeah. Let me just show the crowd a little here. Yeah, you get the view of them remastering and remixing, re-recording, and then you get these very cool photos of the session tapes. Always fun. And this is a hardback book.
Yeah,
not bad.
Hardback book. It's a nice package, but then for the 50th, they re-released it again.
Yeah, what's on that? Do you know? I'm gonna look it up.
I listened to it on Spotify.
Is it a full?
There's a ton of stuff on it, but we're back to the.
And there's a digital box version. I think that
the digital box version is. If I go back.
And it's also available, I believe, as a.
I think there's a physical
object.
Yeah.
Art.
So it has the 50th anniversary. Has Tubular Bells Part 1, Part 2.
Okay, probably.
Tubular Bells 4 intro demo from 2017. So he was going to do a fourth version.
Okay.
And then he has since said, no, I'm retiring. And so
now was
the beginning.
Was that around? So when were the Olympics?
Well, then they have the Olympics. They have the London 2012 Olympic.
Oh, 2012.
So it was Tubular Bells plus and Dolce Jubilo.
Okay.
But it is so iconic that they had him perform at the
right. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
and it was pretty cool too. It was very cool.
And then they have a bunch
Mike
of
remixes.
Mike
and Mr. Bean. What more could you ask for?
Elbow, I think, was playing too.
Yeah, there was
very cool.
Very, very cool bands at the time.
Then they have a new stereo mix by David Costin.
No idea.
The theme from Tubular Bells, another edit of the Tubular Bells 4 intro. Yeah, so it's
more stuff, but not yet a collection of everything.
Right. I don't even know, because the original Tubular Bells single, which I have downstairs, I should have brought that up, I forgot, has Froggy When According on the B-side. I don't think I've ever seen that on CD.
It's not on, no, you're right. It's not unboxed?
I didn't know. I did not see it there.
No. Okay, well, that's probably bad. That's fine.
Mike Oldfield single, theme from Tubular Bells.
Let's see this here. Let's take that out.
With Froggy When According.
Look at this. We've got the front here. And this is of its time? This was not a re-release. This is it. This
I
is from
believe.
73.
Well, this says 74 on
Okay,
the label.
74. Well, maybe that's when the single came out. It's just an interesting. It's like it's like its own sleeve, and then
sleeve inside.
No hole, no big hole.
No, well, it's British, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the original Virgin
Virgin label.
label.
Yeah. Show the audience.
The,
there you go.
The Roger Dean design there. So
classic.
Pretty cool. But again, if we're talking about complete, I don't know why Froggy went recording.
I know.
It's a throwaway
kind of still
thing. I don't know why it didn't make it anywhere. Or someone will
complete
prove
is complete.
that I didn't.
Yes.
That it's on one of these things that I own and I just didn't know it was buried in the
exactly.
Somewhere in there.
And what came next?
What do you mean? Well, then now they've got after the big box is now the 50th anniversary.
Okay. Yep. But you do have another box here. We might as well show that.
Oh yeah.
Folks remember this, the original Mike Oldfield,
Mike Oldfield original Elements box, which had, of course, Tubular Bells in full
and then a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, and 3 CDs.
Very cool
4
design.
CDs, three CDs all together.
Yeah.
So it was a cool box that's a nice book. My biggest complaint about this is, it's a cool book, but it shows all the albums, lists all the songs on each album, but then when you get to the CDs themselves, there's not a ton of information about the songs. It tells who produced it, when it came out, and the song and the length of each song, but it doesn't really go into, like, some of them are different mixes or different. I think that one of the songs has Holy, One Glance is Holy, Hard and Holy mix.
Okay.
Which is Adrian Belew, instead of Max Bacon.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just interesting that there's not a lot of that info in the book.
Yeah.
It's more of a big general.
This was one of those box sets. Where'd you buy yours? I know where I got mine. Secret Sounds.
Oh, really?
Yep. Chris got this. Yep. I mean, I may have asked him to get it. I don't remember.
I don't know. I remember you had it, and then I got it somewhere. Chris might have gotten me.
It was one of this box set was one of those where it was like, oh wow, this looks so cool, and then like, oh, it's good, but like he said,
I have
everything
except for two songs.
But it's like they just made a thin book to fit in here. My main thing is like, it's like Tubular Bells and a little bit of everything else, and a lot of it seems like an afterthought, and it's just doesn't hang together as a box set for me, but that's just me. When you put a full album and then you don't for anything else, and it's because I believe there's not even like a full side of anything else. It's all just excerpts. So it's like you're saying Tubular Bells was his most important release, whether that is true or not. He has so much.
Omadon part
okay. I take it back. Okay, I'm being a little hard here on. Well, it wouldn't have been him. It would have been Virgin.
Yeah, Incantations. I'm not sure if they put.
I mean, it has a lot of great stuff on it. I'm
just looking. Part 2 excerpt.
Okay. Well,
and that was a double album, and they gave
it gets an excerpt.
Half of one song.
I mean, you could say it's a great overview of his whole career, at least up for the Virgin years. There's nothing past Virgin, right? It's a Virgin thing.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, because I think Amarok is the last thing.
Yeah. And then they released those deluxe editions. And they probably did a Tubular Bells version of that.
I don't recall that.
No,
I honestly don't recall. Let's okay. We're going to take a pause here. Jay's going to go look because he has the deluxe editions. All right, so we looked. Actually, the box set. Hold the box up again. This is actually considered the Tubular Bells deluxe edition, and then we moved on to the familiar.
Well, this was the only other one that got a box.
Okay.
The other one,
I take it back. The other just regular
double CD.
Okay.
In a gatefold kind of thing.
All right.
With a special book, but this was a Crises. They did a full box set with 4 CDs or 3 discs, 3 CDs and 1 DVD.
Okay.
Which of course has Tubular Bells.
Right. Of course, Tubular Bells. All right. So, bottom line is Tubular Bells to your heart's content. There's
Yeah.
so many of them out there. All right.
I think what we were saying at the end was the official releases, 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
are different enough that they stand on their own.
Right.
But all these remixed, re-recorded, I only need one.
It's just,
I have them all, but
yeah,
really
it confuses me. You showed all that stuff and like can keep 1, 2, and 3 straight, but then when you start branching out to these deluxe editions
and the
and
remix,
the remix, and there's a little here and a little there, and it's not all collected in
and
one
the
play.
demo of this and the not
right.
demo of that, and then
Yeah.
it's
And I don't think the 50th anniversary version solves all that. So
probably not.
well, but there
it's
will be a 55 and a 60, and there will certainly be a 75th anniversary edition, and we may see that. And if we do, we'll definitely have a podcast
I'm doing
on
the
that.
math. I don't know if I'll be there for that.
Well, that would be 25 years from now. So if we live to 85, which many people do, and
You
this
think I'm doing this podcast when I'm 85?
well, I was just going to say we'll revitalize the podcast or whatever
Just
the
for that.
appropriate technology and communication mechanism at the time to give our views on Tubular Bells 75th anniversary edition. And maybe we can even have Mike on, but what would he be, 100?
Yeah, we'll have his consciousness beamed down from a
They'll be the 100th birthday edition. So
right.
I
His
mean,
hologram.
it is pushing up against their Milk and the Cow thing, because but if they they must sell because
they wouldn't
keep doing
well, no, the one that I got, the 2009
Yeah.
one, is gorgeous.
Right.
I mean, if you like the packaging, if
Yeah.
you like that whole thing about what records used to be before they became CDs and so small and then non-existent when it became digital, it's a thing of the past. And so when they do release these things from the nostalgia aspect of it and the historical of how these things got put together, it's very interesting.
And I think, Tubular Bells, the original version, is so iconic and so known that in this case, as opposed to I was talking in the other episode about ELP and their catalog getting diluted, I think they could put out as many different versions and remixes and stuff.
Yeah.
And the original is not going to get lost in the mix. Like that is still the iconic. And for most people, that will be the only thing they think of. They're not going to think of all these other ones.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I don't think some of this stuff is, I'm sure, not in print anymore, that you can't get it. So, I mean, unless you've been a fan for 50 years,
right,
you're not going to have all this stuff.
Right.
You might happen upon it as a young person
Yeah.
and say, oh, I would like to get that. If that is their demographic at all. But you can't get these unless you find a used copy.
And believe me, I'm being cynical, but I if it's going to keep Tubular Bells out there in the public consciousness, then more to it, because that, I would rather sit here and complain about the proliferation of releases rather than the lack of.
Then why didn't they ever?
Right. And that, that was the theme from The Exorcist, and that's all it's remembered as.
Yes.
So. All right.
So there you go.
There's a good note to end on. So a nice little celebration of Mike Oldfield.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap up for this episode, and we'll catch you next time.
And Prog will find a way.
If you want it to.